Alright, hello and welcome back to the stream. We are working on our samurai game, and yesterday, Imran, one of our viewers, regular viewers, he suggested checking out this one YouTuber tutorial about putting stuff on a spline mesh, and I took a look at it, and I think that might be the way to go. So I think we might just spend our morning doing that. So there's a bunch of things that we could use it for. For instance, I've hand placed these fences here. So each map cell has these like dynamic fences when their area is closed off. So we could use a spline mesh to do that, and the system that the tutorial talks about has like kind of a dynamic sizing, so it's kind of interesting. So we'll have to see how it totally works with the fences and stuff. But the place that I was running into some very annoying fencing was around the bigger area, like the market, which currently I don't have set to like always spawn, so in these smaller maps we might not even get it, so it doesn't look like we are. All right, so let's see, I can put up the bigger map here, and then we can zoom out. Yesterday we also put in these kind of little smaller areas that you can just walk through, so it kind of gives the map a little bit different structure. Okay, so anyway, here's what I was working on here. Yeah, let me know if the sounds for the the game sounds are annoying. I can just turn off my desktop audio, but they're louder in my ear, I think, than on the video. But so yeah, so anyway, there's this wall here that I was basically hand placing, right? We could write a spline mesh to just automatically generate that by drawing a spline. Sometimes splines are a little annoying to lay out, but I drop my guy in here and have him fight the. Oh wait, no, I guess it's. All right, market battle. Let's go. Yeah. How are we gonna make this game harder? I feel like we need to make it so that the enemies might dodge or something. Oh yeah, that's right. The dodge attack can get affected by meshes that are kind of next to the player. I need to fix that too. That's a bug. Someone remind me to fix that before we release the demo, because that will probably really annoy people. Yeah, so anyway, this is the idea. So we make a spline mesh, and then it just can kind of generate the fencing along the lines, and then we can do it around the market area. And then what will happen is the player will get to this point, and they'll walk through the fence, the rest of the area they can't get through. They'll walk through the fence, they'll find the market, and we'll trigger the event. And, you know, same thing with like boss fights and stuff. Oh, there's a lot of guys here. Nice. Yeah, I feel like the the dash mechanic really shines when there's like a lot more guys to fight, right? So this must have been where they were attacking me, because it's like a giant pool of probably like a million decals. All right. But again, I haven't taken any damage yet at all. Did I just generated a whole nother level. Okay. All right, let's stop that. All right, so to make this spline mesh, this is another thing that I probably could put in my toolkit at some point. We'll just build it here for now. Now, you know what? We're going to build it in the toolkit. And let me just open up my toolkit project, because what I want to do is make sure I don't have the folders set up properly in this one, but I could put this in the correct folder, and then when I migrate it to the actual toolkit, I can do it. I think I showed this toolbox thing before. I've got kind of all these different shaders to. This is my pixelation, and you can see there's like banding. So there's a couple different things in here, but all right. So basically, we have toolbox, blueprints, maps, materials right now. So these things are all post-processing materials. So in the toolbox, I just want to have a blueprint folder and then a folder of the thing that I'm creating. Okay, so, and this random level should be in that folder too, inside that toolbox, but we have not migrated it. So in here, we are going to have a spline mesh. All right. And then we will create a blueprint class. I think it's just an actor. Spline mesh. All right. All right, so the way this works is we are going to have a static mesh that will grow with the spline. So I'm going to just want to make sure I have chat outside of my other window that I'm looking at. So I'm going to take a look at this. Well, okay. Yeah, bear with me if I don't respond to anyone's chat like immediately. I'm just trying to do many things at once. All right, so what we're going to do here is we're going to create a mesh variable. So we're not making a mesh in here. We are making a mesh in the variables. So call this our, I guess we'll just call it our mesh, and then we'll make this a static. And I think it's this one. Okay, so we have that. And then we're going to add a spline. And you could see that there was another thing called spline mesh, and that's, we're going to generate these. But we're going to do it programmatically. So, all right, and then in the construction script, we're going to grab our mesh. And the way that the, oh, I can even, I'll even, just to give credit where credit's due, this is from the game dev cave. which I'm pretty sure I'm already subscribed to, which is pretty funny. So it was a good suggestion by Imran. But here is looking at and that's the YouTube video for that. So. All right. Okay, so the next thing he has you do is he has you get kind of the basic size of the mesh itself, which is pretty cool. So this bounding box kind of gets you the bounds of a mesh, so a box around the mesh. So and then if you split this, this gives you the minimum vector, the maximum vector. I don't quite understand. What these are doing, but you can I think it's like the minimum, like the front of it and the end of it or something like that. All right, so you can get the absolute value for these. And all right, and then you can add them together. And I guess if it's so, you know, it's like the beginning and the end, right, or something, and then when you add them together, you get the like the size of it, right? So and so you have the x value, the y value, and the z value of the box itself, and then you can get this length. And so in the tutorial, he says your mesh should be kind of like longest or whatever in your x value. So if ours is not correct, we'll find that out. So we're going to promote this to a variable. We'll call it length. Okay, so this is just the, looks weird, but that's the x length here. All right, it's the first execution pin we have. And then now we're going to loop through our spline. And we're going to use this data to kind of know how many pieces of the fence we want to put in. So we're going to do it for each. And almost always we're looping on these arrays, but this is not the for each that we want actually. So if we just type for each and we get rid of the, where are you? Oh yeah, no, it's not for each. That's why. The for loop. So here's the for loop. So I don't know if so much looping has to do with arrays, but there is a whole for loop system that you can use as well. So here it is. Okay, so once we have this, then we can loop through like spline segments. So we have this spline here, and we're going to get the length, I believe. Yeah, so we get this length. And this allows us to be dynamic, right? So once we expand the size of the spline, we can make it keep going. So, and then to get the amount of segments, like how many pieces of fencing we want, we can say, okay, well, we have this long a fence, right? So if a fence is 10 units, or a spline is 10 units long and a fence is 1 unit, you know, if we divide the spline up by the length of the mesh, we get how many times, right? So if we're 1 and this is 10, we get 10 fencing. So then we want to make this index the endpoint, right? So I think this, I'm trying to think if his math is completely right when he does this tutorial, because I don't see him limiting the, like, will this go over by 1 because we divided by the amount and then we start at 0? I don't know. Okay, we'll find out. Anyway, so you take this and you do a divide. Okay. And then we put this here. Okay, so we're dividing the length by the thing, and excuse the crisscross. It's kind of hard to, other than we could actually just, if we want to make this look nicer, we could do this. Because we just set it, so we're okay. I'm pretty sure this is not an, it'd be terrible if this was like an asynchronous set, and like by the time you get to the next execution pin, you don't have it yet. But that does happen in like React. Okay, in web development. All right, I'm just periodically checking the stream chat, but we're okay. All right, so now we loop through this, and this becomes a index here. But I think if you do this, oh yeah, it truncates it. Okay, so this turns it into a integer instead of a float. So floats have decimals and stuff, and we just want to loop through whole numbers, right? Okay, so we got this. We're looking good. This whole thing is really interesting to me. This getting the bounding box for meshes. I feel like there's something here for like writing your own like pathfinding scripts for spaceships or something. Like this is something I might use in the future for that. So stay tuned. This is sparking an idea here. I might need to like put it somewhere. Maybe I need like another Google Doc that's just like random ideas and not just my like how to do stuff. But all right, so now we have this. Okay, so the magic starts to happen when we go loop body, and then we go add mesh, add spline mesh, add spline mesh. Yeah, add spline mesh component. Okay, so now we're adding components. So this is basically adding it to this component section here, but we're doing it code-based, right? So we have this now, and we've got our mesh, but this doesn't seem to be completely, we probably need to do some transform and stuff like that. All right, so the next piece of information that he gives you is he wants you to set this mesh up, because right, I guess when you just set this mesh up, it doesn't have collisions, it doesn't have like anything, it doesn't know what direction to be in. Okay, so once we create this spline mesh, which we don't, it doesn't even know what it is, right? We want to set the collision. It's interesting because like I would probably, if I hadn't watched the tutorial, I probably would have generated this and then set the mesh type, right? And then, all right, we want a collision enabled. And then the next piece is set forward access, which I've never done this one either. This is kind of interesting. I guess it's for the spline mesh, so that's probably why. But it like sets your, I don't know if this changes the rotation of the mesh itself. It might. Wonder what happens if you don't do that. All right. All right. Okay, good. All right, so now we're going to grab the component again, and we're gonna set the static mesh. And that's our last thing that we're gonna do. I'm gonna make these a little bit more, kind of all the all the same. All right, go here, and then we need this mesh, which we are going to set in here. So this allows us to use this for all sorts of stuff, right? All right. Okay, so once we have that, we still don't really have the location of the piece. So there's this thing called get location along spline. And you can calculate distance, and then you get the point on the spline that you want. So, and then the way that we get that here is we've got all this info, right? Let me just, okay. We get all this info here with our spline length, and then we've got our mesh length here, right? So we can calculate based on which point on our spline, like which index we're on, to figure out where we should drop this next thing. The other thing I'm wondering is, I don't even think I'm not sure he talks about it, but I feel like you might need to know where your like origin point of your mesh is, because maybe you need it to be on the edges of your thing, which this might be, but it might be I don't know. Anyway, we'll figure that out. I think this might look a little borked, I think, when we're done. So, okay. So we take our index, we multiply, and then we get our mesh length here. Multiply that. Okay, so now we have, so if this is 1, we multiply it by x, so that now we're just the first one, or 0, right? 0 would be 0, and then this would be 0. I guess everything would just be 0, and then this would be 1 mesh length at 1, and then at 2 we'd multiply by 2, so we have to go 2 out. Anyway, and then so now we have our distance, and the distance goes here. Okay, and that should be everything we need. All right. Okay, so the final piece we need is set start end. Is that really what it's called? An end? Where does that go? That goes, it's another one of these. All right, let's go here. Start and end. Start and end position. So this helps resize the mesh, I think, because you're actually setting where the mesh starts and where the mesh ends, I guess. So that is kind of interesting, right? All right, so we need a start position and an end position. So the start position is the one we just calculated. I'm just gonna move this stuff over here because I feel like it needs to be closer to this thing here. All right. Okay. We're never gonna get these to line up, are we? Let's see. Okay, cool. All right, so this goes into the start one, and then there's this thing called the start tangent and an end position. I don't know. Maybe he explained it in the thing, but I'm not quite sure what it exactly means. But I think we generate the same exact. We just use the same distance for it. So get tangent, At distance along spline. Given a distance along the length of the spline, return the tangent vector. I don't know what that means. Sorry. Okay. Anyway, we need that too, and it needs to go right here. So these two values are the same. So I don't know. And then we need the end, which would be probably this distance plus its length, I would guess. So probably need to pull off a plus. And then all right, he does some funky stuff here with clamping and stuff. All right, hold on a second. All right, I'm trying to watch this tutorial at the same time as I'm recording, which is fun. All right, so he just okay, I see. We don't have to do this. We just need to do okay, I see. I think my way would probably work too, but what he does is he does this. He copies these because we're gonna do the exact same thing. All right. Okay, so actually, let's finish up the other piece first. Okay, so here we want to clamp the vector size and then stick it in the start. I think it's the start tangent that takes the clamp. Okay, so in here we want this to be the max length. Okay, and then I believe we can copy this, duplicate it, and then here, instead of just the index, we're gonna plus it. Add one, and then we're gonna put it in here. So we're basically saying like go to the next increment, right? Okay, and then calculate that. So we're going from the beginning to the end of it. All right, and then pull this out so we can get our values in the right place. All right, let's go end position. I need to look up what an end tangent is, since they're kind of almost the same. But I mean, obviously we're doing the maybe tangent is like the length of the segment, not the position or something. I don't know. It says start tangent though and end tangent, so I don't know. I don't know why they're different. So mathematically, all right, this is a little too. That helped a little bit. Okay. Let's see. Oh, and we want to, yeah. I think that's all we got to do for this. All right. So now we have our Morning. Morning, Imran. I'm following the tutorial that you suggested, so I think I've copied it just about word for word. So we'll see what happens. All right. Yeah, let's see. Okay, let's go into our so I made a new toolbox thing called BP Spline Mesh. We haven't tested it yet. But I'm going to go into my AI play map, which is this. Let's okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a child blueprint. All right, another pet peeve for the Unreal Editor people. I don't always want my child blueprint to live in the same folder as my my core one. So it would be nice to get the option to put it somewhere else. Given especially when you are making stuff that when you keep moving things around, like the redirectors inside the system get all crazy. So this is fraught with problems. Okay, so I think I'm just gonna stick it in the blueprints maybe. Actually, it probably should go in the level asset folder. Okay, so we're gonna put it here. All right, and then I gotta open it back up again. I'm going to move this to level assets. Move here. And then the trick I've heard is that if you go to the content folder and say fix redirectors, this should fix your stuff. I don't know. Doesn't seem to do anything, but does it show up in here? Level app. So it did do this. Maybe it did. Where's the command? Is there a command for it? Okay, I renamed it. And then it created a bunch of metadata inside the toolbox. And then event gated spline mesh. So these are all toolbox stuff. And then I saved, then I moved it. And then it created something temporary. Check out and save, compacting tables, new page, asset, save, validating. So I don't know. I don't see the command for fixing stuff, but all right. Yeah, we're doing it. Okay, so let's just see what happens. All right. So we're in our game. We'll go into blueprints. We'll go into level assets. Got our spline mesh samurai here. We'll go into our class defaults, which allows us access to this mesh class. I guess it's still in here. So we could set it. Okay, so we don't need to worry about it. All right, so in here, we want to find our fence. So let's go down to our meshes. I don't know, we'll see. This may or may not work. All right, oh, that's our samurai mesh. We want this. Okay, let's do our, I think it's this fence here. All right, now if we go back to our, close the original one. We want this one. Go away. Go away. Out. Out. There we go. Okay. Okay, it's a little skinny. But I think that's fine, because it seems like it's in the right direction. That's good. Okay. Compile and save. All right, ready? Go back. It will now drop it here. All right, now you're gonna watch me struggle with splines. Okay, if I grab this, yeah, look at that. Ready? Okay. Oh, it's beautiful, Imran. Check this out. Yeah. All right. It is not terrible. Okay. It does have a little bit of kind of a warping, you know, at the ends, but I feel like we could probably be fine with that. All right, so this is probably how exactly I would do this. So let's see if we got to the end, right? All right, now the real magic of the spline, right, is we want to add a new, how do we add a new spline point? Isn't there like a button? There's not like a button for this. All right, and then we're gonna go duplicate. Opens up a spline generation panel to easily create basic shapes with splines. I want to do that. What can I do? I don't want to do that. Although, wait. Yikes. Oh, it created it like, oh, look at that. Okay. It wasn't quite what I wanted. Well, this is interesting anyway. Okay. Actually, let's close this for now. I'm gonna delete this. Or I'm not gonna delete it. Okay, here we go. All right, ready? We're gonna do it again because that generation panel is kind of interesting. Let's go. Boop. And then that, and then we will select it. Let's do spine generation panel. All right, let's make a rectangle. All right. Ooh, that's horrible. But let's do 1,000 times 1,000. All right. Not bad. A little bit wonky on the corner. So that would be interesting. So one of the things that the tutorial talked about. Yeah, it's you know, I think we don't have to be this fancy, I think is the answer. But like we could just do one line, make a new new spline mesh, and then make another line. We don't have to make these corners. I think there are more tutorials out there that will be like, oh, and if it's smart, it will like add a different mesh based on where you are. So like we could, ooh, what? Now we have two. How'd that happen? That was weird. Am I just generating them whenever I click on something? Yeah, okay. All right, this tool is crazy. And append right after whatever thing you add. Okay. Yeah, great. Thanks. Thanks, spline mesh tool. All right, what I was trying to do, which now I have this like insane thing. All right, let's delete that. All right, and we're not gonna be able to finesse this because we're randomly generating them, right? Okay, deleting it is not working. Okay, come on, delete. All right, you delete. Okay, so yeah, that's what I think, Imran. Yeah, four splines, and then yeah, you could do a corner piece, or we can be lazy and just pretend it looks fine, and hopefully no one will notice. That's the other option. So, um, but yeah, okay. So I don't know. I want to play with this a little bit more. Okay, so we can just grab the final piece of the spline, which you can do in here. I'm sure it's easy. You can do it in different ways. All right, and then we can. That didn't do it. What? Okay, hold on. All right, I want to do this one. Maybe this is the front of the spline. I don't know. Okay. Yeah. And if you stretch it just right, you could have like, that could be like your, a smaller one that doesn't look terrible, Cool. All right, and then we would drop another one on. It's awesome that this actually kind of worked just fine right out of the box, which is great. Yeah, so we don't have like a corner piece here. So I might have to make one. I don't know if the asset pack actually has a corner piece. Okay, so click on the spline. Let's see, can I move it? Nope, okay. Let's grab the spline, grab the end. Man, I don't understand. So splines are a little annoying for me, but they do make this process a little bit easier. This is not working though. I'm just not grabbing the right thing, I guess. Control-C. Let's grab this one. Let's grab that one. All right. It's just hard to select, even when you use the in-editor tools. All right. Not bad. That seems like it's going to be a time-saving thing, so that's pretty cool. I like it. I don't know if the fence looks obnoxious, but like from like the angle that the player's playing, like they're only gonna see parts of it, you know. The corner, I mean, so remember the perspective of the game is like this, you know. So the corner piece is almost like something that like the player from a gameplay perspective is not really gonna even care about. So I'm not sure I'm gonna even try to do it. Yeah, we could add a tower on each corner. So I mean this is just for the market. So it's kind of like it's not like a fortress, although that's a good level idea. Having like a little watchtower or something like that. I just wanted a way to like separate the market from the rest of the village, I guess. I don't know why they would have a giant wall around their marketplace, but maybe they want to protect it at night or something. I don't know. Yeah, but it's just a way to keep the player from getting into it without using one of the real entrances. So okay, so final thing I want to do with this is I guess I can move it. Can I, if I get down into the spline here, can't see it. Let's see. Select all the splines. Select the. So that's interesting too. I think that's the spin. This doesn't really help me. Just like moving the spline around, which isn't really what I want to do. Okay, so I think with the if you grab this piece, it doesn't really grow it. So you might be only able to grow in one direction, maybe. Actually, let's see if we pull. Yeah, this doesn't. Yeah, okay. All right, good. All right, so that's something to keep in mind. All right, let's just grab the whole thing, move it. I just want to, so what I want to do now is just test, let's grab this. It's interesting, I think I moved the spline out, so now I can see it, but anyway. Okay, so we have this wall now. All right, let's click off, let's click P. All right, so it's working, it's blocking the nav mesh. All right, so now if I press play, all right, so here's my wall. Okay, yeah, so collisions are working, that's good. Don't you love how the camera angle is like completely different than in the viewport? It's very disorienting. Okay. We cannot get through. Oh. All right, so the blood effects just look so much better in the test environment. Yeah. And yeah, Imran, the storyline of the game is that there are bandits in the market, so the fence did not work. um, yeah. So, all right. Okay, that was a great tip. So thank you, sir, for suggesting the spline mesh. I feel like that's going to be a great level update for us. Um, very cool. All right, I'm gonna, yeah, we'll save our fence inside here. Okay, so let's go to our market, our big ugly market. It's like too big, I think, but I don't know. I had to think about how to design it. All right, I want to get rid of all of these meshes and replace them. Where are you? All right. Is it all these? Yeah, these fences. I think that's all of them. Oh, there's one more. And the gate. We're gonna leave the gate. So let's not delete the gates. Okay. All right, these are all the fences, and we're gonna press delete. Okay, cool. Now, I guess the trick is gonna be, can we line up this this fence thing? So we're gonna have to add a. All right, let's see. If I highlight the it's in the so we're gonna have to make an actor component, which is gonna be interesting to see. Hopefully this works. Oh man, what if this doesn't work? Okay, we're gonna add this as a. Okay, let's just see. Can I drag it in here? I can. Okay, that's interesting. So the spline mesh is gonna be, currently it's in the outside, and we can drag it into the geometry. So let's do that. Okay, and then are we still holding it? Yeah, we are. Okay. So we have this. Now, did we use the wrong fence? Or was this the size of the fence before? That's the real question. Okay. So we're in the right location. All right, I am not seeing the spline. See, I've had this problem before with the splines. When you add them as child actors, I haven't had this problem with splines, but I've had this problem with like the spawners too. I can't access the basic piece. Huh. So like I feel like I could make this programmatically work with a just a variable for the length, you know? Just be like, I want it to go to that length or something, and then just have and then change the spline mesh size, you know? But like we can't access the component of a component. So, hello, NG Bats. We are working with a spline mesh inside a procedural tile of a procedural generated map, and we're finding the limits of our system. Okay, so we cannot control this spline from here that I can tell, which is a problem. All right, so okay, so I think all we can do is I mean, there's not a section called like components, right? There's component tick, component replication. That's its own component. That's itself, not the okay. So how are we gonna do this? I think we're gonna have to add a new okay, so normally we would just grab it and change the size. Like I think if I did this, it's not, yeah, so it's not gonna grow the spline, right? Okay, so in our spline mesh, actually, let's do it in our base class. In here, let's make another variable. Spline length. Okay, and then I think this is gonna have to be float. All right. Okay, so let's see. Can we set spline length? We can get it. Oh man, what are we gonna do? Okay. This was such a good solution. But we are okay. We can get the spline length. Can we add to the spline length? Expose to cinematics. Okay, so I don't, what does duration even mean? It's kind of weird, right? Default up vector. Maybe it's not spline length that we can set, but we could set the points, right? We could set like the first point and the second point. All right. I'm going to show NGBats what we're working on. Okay, so this is boring. So let me show you the actual game. All right. So this is our test map. That's why. Yeah, we'll just save it. I don't know. Okay. So I'm working on a samurai game. And we have this procedurally generated village map that we're working on. And we have all these bandits, which currently are super easy to kill, but they will come and attack you. But you can kill them with this dash attack, so yeah. And the current game right now is like you just have to go around looking for these guys, clear the village out of all these bandits that are terrorizing the villagers. And what we're currently working on is this kind of boss map, right? So okay, so this is the entrance of the thing that we're working on with this fence that we're trying to grow. But the idea is that there's this market battle, so we get to the market, which we haven't designed, and a whole bunch of guys spawn, and you have kind of an ambush and a fight. So this whole area is like a big kind of boss map area that will be a bunch of market stalls and buildings and things like that, but inside it will just be like tons and tons of enemies, and yeah, that's the idea. But trying to make it easier to build out the like fencing. So we thought maybe it would be easier than hand placing every single fence would be to use a spline mesh, but because we're doing everything procedurally, we have a kind of a room. And if we want to bring in a special blueprint to do it, we would have to have access to this spline blueprint, which we don't. I wonder if I could just make this. So I wonder if I can make the spline a variable. Let's see if that helps. So what if we can we set this? Can we just set what to variable? Spline component. I didn't spell component right. All right, what if we set it? I don't know. Okay, so what I was thinking of earlier was we could probably get the endpoint, like the last point of the spline, and make that a variable maybe. I don't know. Okay, so if I point, let's see, add point, clear point, get arrive tangent of spline point. Yeah, because we do this with the get roll spline, get number of spline points, get location. So I just want one. I just want the final. Set spline points. This is all booleans, so oh, I don't know what you're referencing. GBats. I don't have Twitch open, so I don't know if there's something that's going on in your Twitch chat here. All right, let's see. Where am I? Yeah, I don't know. Okay. Not sure what's happening. Okay. Okay, so let's get the so if we do spline and then we get yeah, let's see what we can get. Let's see if we can set something here. Get end. Let's see. Can we get end? This is a boolean. All right. Get number of spline points. How do you get the spline point? Get spline length. Get spline point at. That might be it. I guess what I was hoping was I could just get the end one, like just like there was a function for it. All right. Oh, we can do index. Okay, so I guess I want to do index 1, and then we can promote that to a variable and call it end point. All right. Let's see if that helps us. I don't, okay, I'm just having like some like inception here. Like if you set the spline point in the construction script, does it automatically update itself, right? Okay, anyway, I guess we'll see what happens. Because what I'm trying to do is if I can get this, then can I modify the value of it? All right, let's just, I'm gonna save this, go back into my village. Okay, here's my spline point. We've got our defaults. Now we have our spline length, which I think I set it, but I created it, but I can't actually set it, so. Yeah, Imran, I am on Twitch as well, but I think I prefer YouTube just because it's my bigger channel. But yeah, you know, I feel like I can dual stream, so I stream to YouTube and I stream to Twitch, so because some people prefer Twitch, so. I have to say, I feel like for whatever reason, I end up there's like a couple people I follow on YouTube for live streams, but like it doesn't really let me know as easily as Twitch does. Twitch usually tells me when people are streaming. So maybe I just have my settings wrong on YouTube, but okay, so I have my spline component, I have my mesh, I have my endpoint. Okay, so here is where I'm like, what if I change this? So I just got access to this, right? Okay. I don't know what the input key is, but what if I change this to 20? Did that do anything? It did not. All right, what if I change this to 100? What if I change this to 100? Ah, man, nothing works. Okay. What if I change this to 1,000? What if I change the scale to 200? Okay, nothing works. If I put this to... All right, let's just make everything 1,000, 1,000, 1,000. Okay, I don't think this affects anything. So, what if I compile? Will it update? No, it won't update. Okay, it's still the same. All right, so I don't know. If I move it around, you'd think the construction script would trigger, maybe, but okay, so all right, let's do I'm just gonna compile this one more time. Let's see. All right, so if I do, are we still with our crazy endpoints? Let's see, let's put this to 0. Put it back. All right, I just want to see if changing the index would change this, but I don't think it does. Okay. Let's do that. All right, maybe in here we can say like get we could split it maybe. Let's see. break spline point. There you go. All right. Okay, so I'm just gonna experiment with this. Let's see, we can split this and then we can break it. Can we set it? So I don't know if this is a reference to the actual spline point. So, all right. I think you can. I think you're right, Imran. I think you can do those things. But I think my current issue is that I don't think I'll be able to access them in here. Like I won't be able to move them around. And have them be connected via the spline. So, all right. So we have this spline point. Can we, since we have this, that's an interesting, like we could reference to input struct. We can't set, okay. I need to find out what his tangent is. Maybe that's like the set location at spline point. What does that do? That might be what we want. Okay, let's kill this thing. We don't need it, I don't think. Let's just see what this does. Okay, so if we have this in our construction script, and then we want all right, yeah, we want this to be the length, I think. So let's make this 1. And then we will okay, come on. Get vector location. And we'll split. Split struct. Okay, and then we will split this struct too. Okay. So we want the x to be x plus, and we want it to be the spline length. All right, and then we'll put that in the x, and then the y and the z will all be the same. Okay. And update this more. Sure, let's go. All right, let's see what happens. So if we do that, we're going to remove this. All right, so now we have the spline length variable. Hopefully we're getting we only have 2 spline points, 0 and 1. And then we're gonna go back to our original, actually, no, we can go to our market room. All right, this got messed up, it looks like, which is interesting. Okay. Ah, weird. Okay, so we are maybe setting our, okay, so it's affected it, right? Which is good. Let's find it. Let's see. Okay, so in our default, our spline length is 0, but let's make it 1,000. Okay, so why are we're in kind of a weird angle. That's kind of weird. But I do now I have a way to, well, it may just be that I'm freezing the screen. Okay, so at least I can sort of generate it code-wise, but it's a little off for some reason. I don't know. So like if I never rotate it, does it work straight or does it look, it looks pretty straight, I think. If I move it to the edge, oh, look at that. It like shifts as you move. All right, so that's something we gotta figure out, but like maybe we need to project the location based on the x direction of the spline. So in here, is it, I mean, is it not? I think it's the x direction that we want. I guess if I set a default mesh right now. Can I? Where is it? Why can't I? Oh, right here. It's 2 fence. All right, I gotta wrap up real quick, but let me just see what we got here. If I make the spline length 1,000 here. Okay, so here we go. All right. I'm gonna add an arrow. Let's make the arrow big. Let's move it up. Okay. Why isn't the arrow getting big? I don't like that. All right. Oh, maybe it's screen size. I don't know what this is. I meant this one. All right, here we go. Okay. So yeah, so this should be in the correct direction. I don't know. All right. All right, I gotta shut it down, but I will see you all probably Monday. I don't generally stream. Oh no, I'll be streaming tomorrow. Tomorrow's Saturday. Yeah, I probably won't be streaming tomorrow. So I'll see you all Monday. Thanks for the tips, Imran. I'll try to figure this out over the weekend and give you all an update. Talk to you later.